I had to wait for the ages for it to turn back on again. See, if they just make it so the internet actually connected to shit, I wouldn't have to do that. Oh my god, really? Can't just go back to where I was?
Let's take a look around, like that guy said.
You there! Outsiders, halt!
Who's there?
An armored man approaches you.
Yeah, I know.
He has a tall,
Please
muscular
let me skip.
build. Although he's trying his... I'm the captain of... State your purpose, or it's off to the dungeons for the lot of you.
Wow, it's been a while since...
I said talk. Mara show say hunters. Ha! That fairy...
You better not fail this time.
Sir, we were indeed... Your guards are...
17. Okay, much better than last time.
The man regards you with doubt and concern. Those monsters aren't easy to deal with. But if you insist on going, I won't stop you either. I just hope all the guards will be able to come back to their families alive. I wish you the best of luck.
Cool.
Based on what the captain said, the monster should be right up ahead. Let's go. Hopefully we're not too late.
We'll even have to take, we'll even have to... I wonder if we'll actually be able to do, like,
As you
fighting
approach
stuff.
the battlefield, you see numerous people lying by the side of the road. They appear to be dressed like guards. Their faces are filled with desperation and terror. Some are screaming and cursing in vain, as if still trying to banish the monstrosities they saw from their minds.
You're, like, suspiciously still.
A few of the wounded look up at you in shock and disbelief. Quick, leave this place. Turn around and don't look back, they yell.
Like I was saying, Door of Resurrection, but there's clearly none in here. So they're just like, they're there, but they're invisible, and they probably have collision turned off. I hope we get to see some proper D&D fighting, some D&D combat. Good old rolling for damage. Oh, and look, there's something like swords and stuff here too.
This is the place he mentioned, right?
You see broken iron swords scattered all around you, and downed trees riddled with terrifying claw marks. All the signs point to one thing. A truly devastating battle just took place here.
Be on your guard, everyone. The monsters might still be around.
Before you can finish your sentence, you hear rustling sounds from the surrounding bushes. The monsters have emerged.
Oh, Rift Hounds.
They close in on you without fear. You get the impression that, in their bloodthirsty eyes, you're just another meal for them to devour.
A little help here.
Your battle round begins. Now.
Yeah. Make a combat check. Okay, let's see what I'm going for here. How many are there here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So, me. I wish I brought a dice set with me. Well, I don't own that many dice anyway. Let me see. I can probably pull one up on here. Give me a random number between 1 and 12. 3. Oh, 6. Oh, failed. Critical failure. Not a critical failure, but still a failure nonetheless. Power remains unchanged. Oh, I see. Probably not going to do much damage with these with my Traveler. I don't know what you expect from me.
Now disappear. The next battle round begins now.
We're not doing like actual combat from Dungeons and Dragons. Just active combat. Bang!
The monsters let out a terrifying roar of anger and resentment before dissipating into thin air.
Oh, thank goodness it's over.
We're lucky the Marashose Hunter class came with all those preset skill points. Otherwise, we would have been in some real trouble.
I never knew the Fatometer even determines the amount of damage you inflict. If you get unlucky, isn't it just game over right then and there?
Yes, that is like the entire premise of D&D.
That's part of the fun. The uncertainty of fate is what gives these games their appeal.
Just as you begin to celebrate your victory, a suspicious lump on the ground catches your attention.
A suspicious lump.
I walk up to it, crouch down, and begin to carefully examine it. I've still got my right glove on, so it should be fine for me to touch it, right?
As you investigate the mound, you discover that the exposed portion appears to be made of wood. It was previously obscured by the large form of the monsters. With the monsters gone, the small protrusion now awaits your discovery.
Whoa, it's a treasure chest!
Cool. We get looties! I loot the room.
With everyone's help, you successfully excavate the wooden chest from the ground. Even without opening it, you can tell from the mora and jewels scattered around the chest that it must contain quite the fortune.
Makes sense. We worked hard for this. Let's up.
I can understand your excitement, Paimon, but think about it. Doesn't it seem like there are people out there who need this treasure more than us?
Yeah. Think about all the people suffering in the capital. Or all those guards who got hurt fighting the monsters.
Wait, is that how it works? Paimon thought so.
Well, let's put it this way. Any decision you make during a role-playing game can impact the future course of the story. But would the people really believe us? It's hard enough for us to prove we're Marashose hunters. What if they think we procured the treasure illegally?
That's definitely something we should consider. Maybe we can come up with an explanation in advance.
Well, if donating it could cause that much trouble, why don't we use it to buy some gear and fill up on good food?
Looks like you're facing a difficult choice once again. Well, it's getting late.
Wow, where did the time go?
I'm not sure if it's because I'm having so much fun with you all, or because the story is particularly enticing.
Here, here. Oh!
Yeah, that won't work for me either. Lynette will give me an earful if I get home too late.
I understand how you feel, Navia, but we have to change venues for the next part of the story anyway.
Huh? Another location?
Mm-hmm. There's a special note for the GM at the end of this section that says to proceed to an indoor set for the next part of the script.
Whoa, they really pulled out all the stops for this new script.
Well, even if we end the game for the day, we can still stay a little longer and hear Clorinde finish her story, right? Paimon wants to hear more about the history of the hunters.
Something tells me you just want to finish the free desserts before we break for the day.
That's just a coincidence, okay? Besides, to Paimon, not finishing free food feels even worse
Crab.
than having to buy her own.
More crab.
And anyway, Paimon really does want to hear more about Clorinde's master.
Well,
It's nothing. I appreciate the concern.
This is a really interesting take on a story quest, and I hope we get to use this format more often. The actual D&D format.
My earliest memories are of living with Master. According to her, she saved me from certain people of ill repute. My birth parents had left me behind some time before that.
what a heavy beginning.
Master was a fascinating individual. If inexperienced in the ways of raising children, my first ever toy was a short sword. Although I suppose it wasn't so much a toy as something Master removed from her waist and handed to a noisy child in need of distraction.
Oh, wait, so she handed an actual sword to a child?
Of course I did. I cut my palm and bled quite a lot. But Master was not concerned. She just stood there and casually lectured me about it. See, that's what you get for not holding the sword properly, she told me. She then crouched down next to me and said, "Give me your hand. I'll teach you to bandage this wound. After that, it's time to learn how to truly hold a blade."
Excuse me for asking this, Clorinde, but how old were you exactly when all this happened?
Probably around, 3, give or take.
3? Isn't that when most kids are still struggling to hold a fork?
As I said, Master was rather inexperienced in the ways of raising children. She believed trial and error was the best way to teach a child what they're capable
God
of.
damn it. Jesus Christ. I mean, I don't fault her entirely, but also, what the fuck? That can very easily go downhill.
I'm not so sure this is a question of experience.
I didn't see anything wrong with her ways at the time. And anyway, children don't get to choose how they're raised. Oh, she did bring me back a pet from Liyue once. It was a Geovishap hatchling.
Geovishap hatchling is a
Geovishap
pet.
hatchling? For a pet?
What she said was this: "Make sure to get along, you two. If you really can't agree on something, just settle it with a fight. Whoever loses is the real pet."
Oh my god.
And how old were you when this happened?
She's gonna say like
5.
6. Oh my god.
Did you win?
No, I lost.
So, you're saying...
Yes, but only for a week. By the end of that week, I defeated it in combat, and we've shared a cordial relationship ever since.
That really doesn't sound like the kind of childhood someone should
Wait,
have.
so is that Geovishap hatchling
Later
still
on,
around?
I gradually understood that Master most likely didn't know any other way to raise a child. She was a marechaussee hunter, but I never heard her bring up her own parents. Thanks to her, I learned how to navigate the forest by the age of 6, and could hunt monsters in the wild by myself the year after that. Even though the training she subjected me to was strict, she always made sure to take me traveling when she had the time. We met many of her friends during those days. That was also how I met Mr. Callis and his family.
I still remember the first time we met. You were too scared to join our picnic and hid behind Ms. Petronia the whole time.
I still hadn't really met many children my age at that time, so I didn't know how to interact with others.
After that, though, you started coming over a lot. You loved challenging people to shooting competitions, remember? I don't think many members of the Spina ever beat you in one of those.
I had a lot of fun during those days.
I enjoyed
Crab.
them too. Oh, do you remember that one time we went exploring around the Spina together? We overheard Papa call your master Fontaine's Protector of Justice. We tried to pretend like we never heard anything, but you nearly let it slip that one time.
Protector of Justice? Oh, wait, you mean that vigilante hero from 20 years ago? The one who was always active at night?
Yep, that would be her. She often would put on a black cloak and go out at night. I never knew where she went or what she was doing. Until, like Navia said, we overheard the truth from Mr. Callis that night.
20 years ago, huh? I still remember the guards leaving all kinds of witness reports about her on Nervalette's desk.
My apologies.
Oh, there's no need to apologize. You had nothing to do with it. And anyway, everything she did was for a good cause. Although, calling herself the Protector of Order was a bit much. Especially when she deliberately operated outside the law.
Huh? When did the Protector of Justice become the Protector of Order?
Oh, she had a bunch of code names. I heard she would just come up with a name on the spot whenever she was asked. Later on, she probably got sick of answering those questions and decided to stick to just 2.
That sounds like her, all right. I bet she forgot which of the 2 she'd use by the time she got back each night.
Well, she certainly sounds like a fascinating individual. With her strong sense of justice, it's no surprise her student followed in her footsteps.
It's true. I always wanted to become like her. Someone powerful, independent, and with a strong sense of conviction. But
But
she suddenly disappeared the night I turned 10 years old.
Disappeared?
I have no idea. She didn't even leave a note. That night, I was celebrating my birthday at Navia's house. But Master never came to pick me up. when I returned home on my own. It was to an empty house. When she still didn't appear after a few days, I went to Mr. Callus's house to ask about her whereabouts. But he only shook his head.
Papa probably didn't know either. I know he sent a few people to investigate the matter in secret, but they never found any credible leads.
Don't worry, I understand. To be perfectly honest, given Master's personality and way of doing things, it all made a lot of sense. If I had to guess, I'd say she probably used it as an opportunity to force me to become independent. Just like how, when a litter of kittens reaches a certain age, the mother willingly leaves them behind.
Or
I was at first, but not anymore. I don't believe Master would suddenly disappear for no reason. There must have been something she just had to do.
Well, despite everything, you still managed to follow in her footsteps and become the greatest champion duelist in all of Fontaine. You're practically a living symbol of law and justice.
I suspect my position would be far too by the books for her. Master always did whatever she pleased. But you're right. I suppose I do take after her in some ways.
who knew Clorinde had such an interesting past? I wonder if Clorinde's master were the champion duelist back then. Oh no. Judging by the atmosphere, Clorinde and Navia are probably thinking something similar.
Well, anyway. Would you look at the time? It's getting dark, so we should probably call it a day for real this time. If we keep talking like this, we really will be here all night.
I had a great time today, Miss Clorinde. Thank you for being our GM.
Anytime.
The script was good, but I've got to say, your childhood stories were even better. Hey, you should tell us more about that fight against the Geo-Bishop sometime.
You could be right.
What does she mean, on to something? I certainly don't know any 5-year-olds who want to fight a bishop in their spare time.
No, probably not, considering they're way taller
Guess
than the
I'll head back
Bishop's
as
way
well.
taller than them.
I need to save my energy if I want to continue enjoying the story tomorrow.
You're that excited to hear about my fight with the bishop?
I was talking about the script.
This is cool. I really do hope this becomes like an actual permanent part of the game that you can do. Or you can like come and actually do like D&D stuff, because this type of stuff's really fun. Like they could add a thing where people can make stories. Like you have to actually like spend a whole bunch of time crafting up a story, and then having like animations and stuff for it too. It would be really cool. You obviously have to spend a lot of time doing it, but yeah. 8 to 10 the next day. I should really go to sleep because it's 10:30 p.m.
Let's go meet up with the group. Paimon's real.
Let's see where this goes. We defeated the monsters. Now we need to figure out what are we gonna do with that chest full of loot. Ooh, enter the game venue. Cool.
Looks like
Having whole
everyone's
sets
here.
to do this stuff in is kind of
Now,
cool.
before we begin, why don't we finish where we left off yesterday? There was an important decision to be made, yes?
Is that really the most important part, though, Clorinde? Heavy walls, cold railings, dim lights.
I admire the work put into the set. Still, it's obvious the scriptwriter has never paid a visit to the fortress of Meripede.
So this set is going to be a part of the script?
Unfortunately, that is something I can neither confirm nor deny.
Anyone think Clorinde's smile is starting to look kinda scary?
Well, whatever happens, we'll just have to push on. But first, we should really figure out what to do with this treasure. If we're worried about arousing suspicion because of our identity, why don't we give ourselves a different name, just like Clorinde's master did?
Yeah, it might be better to keep a low profile. As long as we're helping people, it doesn't matter who we are or what we're called.
Staring at me won't get you anywhere. Or did you want some more tea?
Oh, Paimon's good. Why aren't you saying anything, Navia?
Oh, this is the short sword Clorinde mentioned last night. I found it.
Huh. I'm surprised you managed to track it down after all this time.
Well, I made sure to take good care of it, considering the circumstances in which you gave it to me. Of course I had to keep it safe. Anyway, where were we? Oh, right. I was just thinking about all the potential ways for us to break out of prison. We could dig a tunnel, or try to bribe the guards.
We're not even in
We
prison.
haven't been thrown into prison yet, have we?
Well, it's only a matter of time. It pays to be prepared. Just like how you should always have an umbrella on hand, even when it's sunny.
One in my bag that I bring around for classes. In case it does start raining, because it's Alabama. It's gonna rain out of nowhere. You're not gonna expect it. It's gonna be like 20% chance of rain that day, and then suddenly it's gonna be downpouring on you out of absolutely nowhere. It's gonna go 10 seconds from just kind of pretty cloudy to full rain. So I keep an umbrella in my thing, because I was given an umbrella when I came here, by my grandparents. So, but yeah, usually you do end up in prison in a D&D campaign. Happens a lot.
All right, Paimon's made up her mind. Paimon may have wanted to keep it, but if it's going to land us in prison somehow, Paimon will be too upset to enjoy her snacks.
This is more about the snacks than traveling. Paimon's developing
So,
as a character.
You reached an agreement? All right then. We can continue with the story.
Oh, and we'll collect all the scattered pieces of treasure on the ground as well.
All right. You collect the treasure and make your way back to the capital with your bag of loot in hand.
Yippee! More D&D.
The city is still shrouded in a gloomy, oppressive atmosphere, but your spirits are surprisingly high. In places where sunlight struggles to reach, you generously share your wealth with the children, the elderly, and the poor in urgent need of help.
Thank you, kind.
The elderly woman's
Nope.
look of gratitude follows you as you walk away, her eyes never leaving your back until you move entirely out of sight. However, there's still quite a bit of Mora remaining. It appears you haven't made much progress.
She's probably trying to tell us to speed this up. We need to
Should we go find that man again at the square? He seemed like a pretty responsible guy.
Oh, good idea.
Just as you start to make way to the square, intent on finding the man again,
Oh, okay. There's a check was made. Interesting. A hidden check was made.
Please wait, distinguished guests. Several strange guards suddenly call out to you. They run forward to meet you and proceed to politely pay their respects.
Greetings, gentlemen. Are we being invited for afternoon tea?
Surely you jest, my lady. That would not be our place. It is His Excellency the King who requests to meet with you.
This, I feel like, is not going to end very well.
Do you think this could be a trap?
Well, we have to investigate the court at some point, right? Meeting the king himself would be a fantastic opportunity to do that.
I say we go for it. If something happens, we'll just turn the whole place upside down.
Yeah. Cool your jets, Navia.
That sounds...
After a quick discussion, you nod to the guards and agree to follow. Gilded tables line both sides of the hall. The space itself is adorned with all manner of expensive antiques, glass shelves, and silver candlesticks. The items appear quite ordinary in size and dimension, yet their presence somehow makes the emptiness of the hall feel even more surreal and ominous.
Wow, it's so luxurious.
The elderly king, clad in a magnificent robe, sits upon the deep crimson throne before you.
I'm gonna swing on him. What? I'm gonna swing on him. No, you're not. Yes, I am. I'm gonna swing on him. Does a 18 hit? No. Fuck.
He wears above his head a majestic crown, with a gemstone the size of a bird's egg set right at the very front. As you observe it, you see a complex pattern of light reflect off its surface.
They're here, Your Majesty.
A man dressed in dark clothes, likely a minister, shields his mouth with his hands and bends down to whisper a few words to the king. After a moment, he lowers his hands and stands back up. His gaze shifts to fixate on your group, but he does not move from his place at the king's side.
The king does not appear entirely aware of his surroundings. The man by his side, though.
The king remains still and says nothing.
King is dead.
The minister is the one who speaks.
Esteemed guests, allow me to thank you for coming to our faraway kingdom. Unfortunately, His Majesty the King finds himself quite exhausted from work. So please allow me, his Prime Minister, to welcome you in his stead. I've heard tell that your group, the Marechaussee Hunters, used your exceptional ability with the sword to repel the monsters near the capital. Such a great deed deserves to be rewarded. However, seeing that I was not fortunate enough to observe such a feat with my own eyes, you'll forgive me for seeking to verify the truth by speaking to you myself.
Well, we've got nothing to hide. You brought us here to talk, right? So we'll just explain what happened. The golem's blades were so powerful, they could cut down trees in a single swipe. Well, there was enough details, right?
Your account does indeed match those of the survivors. Since you were the ones who defeated the monsters, that must mean you are also in possession of the treasure they stole.
Well,
How did he know about
Then I must ask.
Wait, but didn't you just say that our great deed deserved a reward?
Yes, yes. Only that which is freely given by the king can be considered a reward. Taking the rightful...
But that's completely unreasonable.
Yeah, that makes no sense. If it weren't for us, the treasure would still be buried.
Maybe so, yet the fact remains. You tried to dispose of the... What? No answer? Surely you're not insinuating that you, a group of legend...
Well, what about the king? Is he just gonna...
Clad in his magnificent robe, the king remains seated, with his hands resting on either side of the throne. His posture is rigid and unmoving. He stares forward with an empty look in his eyes.
From the look of things, could the Prime Minister be the evil sword?
I would like to observe the number of guards stationed in the hall.
The guards in the palace appear fully armed, their expressions solemn. Sensing the tense atmosphere in the room, they stand at the ready, each with a hand placed upon the hilt of their sword, as if prepared to draw their weapons and surround you at a moment's notice.
Well, there goes my plan to turn the whole place upside down, I guess.
It appears we've been visited by nothing more than a group of ill-intentioned imposters. Before I decide your fate, however, I must first...
Can't we try to slip away? Or maybe...
But if we try to fight the guard...
Don't worry. At least we figured out who's behind all this. Let's just play it by ear. If you're scared, Paimon.
I think...
You allow yourself to be led away by guards surrounding you on both sides.
Wait, can't Lenny just like
It's
slip
only
away?
when you begin to feel drops of water falling from the dungeon ceiling and smell the stench of death and decay all around you that you finally realize you've stepped into a completely different world.
Stay here, and don't try anything funny.
The guards lock the cell door and leave without looking back.
Wait, sir!
Your voice echoes through the dark hall, but the only response you receive is the sound of water dripping from the ceiling.
I would have instantly done an insight check into the minister.
Carve out a new path of fate with our own two hands, of course.
You reach toward your waist, but find nothing there. You now recall that your weapons were confiscated before the guards locked you in the cell. The bag of treasure along with them.
What about that knife I hid in my boot?
When did you hide it in there?
When I was thinking about digging a tunnel.
Rejected. You failed to inform the GM of this course of action. Moreover, the guards would have conducted a thorough search before throwing you in prison.
What she's trying to say is, no, Navia. You cannot do that.
And the keys to the cell aren't anywhere to be seen?
Correct. You don't even feel a lock hole on the cell door.
Oh,
Indeed.
Huh? Why are you the one saying indeed?
Because that statement holds true for me as well. This is where the script ends.
What?
Generally speaking, this should be the point where the scriptwriter gives the players some kind of...
I mean, maybe they just really wanted us to be immersed in the feeling of being in prison?
That is a...
If only there were desserts and tea in real prison.
Oh, before I forget, I took a closer look, and the craftsmanship doesn't appear to resemble anything from this era. If I remember correctly, that style was last in vogue several hundred years ago.
Wait, Clorinde said that sword used to belong to her master, right?
I doubt it. The way she went about things often made her seem childish more than anything. I'd say the sword was most likely an heirloom passed down over time.
Hang on. A precious heirloom passed down to you by your master. And you gave it to me just like that?
Master left many things to me when she disappeared. There was the sword, an old key, and a good amount of junk she probably just didn't want to take with her. I gave you the sword back then, because I didn't want our friendship to end.
Wait, when did this happen exactly?
After the duel. Between Mr. Callis and myself.
Oh, there it is.
Before that, Clorinde would have meals with us and even stay over at the Spina some days. She was on great terms with Papa as well. After the duel, though, there was a period of time where we simply didn't know how to face each other. She entrusted this sword to me, and never came back. We were both sad, and conflicted, and totally overthinking everything as a result. Whenever I looked at this sword, I couldn't help but wonder if Miss Petronia had never introduced us to each other at that picnic. Maybe part of the sadness I was feeling could have been avoided. Back then, it felt like I hadn't just lost a father, but a close friend as well.
No one can change the past. The most important thing is that you two found your way back to each other and can enjoy things like this together.
Yep, you're right.
I'm sorry, you two.
Think nothing of it.
New script, perhaps?
Looks like the next part of our script is here.
Perfect timing.
From Clorinde's face, I really can't tell if it's good news or bad news.
Water continues to drip from the ceiling. In this lightless dungeon, you lack a reliable way to tell how much time has passed. Eventually, you get used to the unpleasant odor of straw, mold, and rust, and find yourselves alternating between fits of drowsiness and despair. Suddenly, you hear footsteps outside the door.
Heads up, everyone. Someone's coming.
Gather close, everyone, and keep your voice down.
Oh, cool.
Who are you?
I work as a guard in these dungeons, but my true identity is the same as your own. I'm also a Marashose hunter.
Huh?
Shh. I've already sent away the other guards, but if we make too much noise...
I understand, but how can we be sure we can trust you?
The king has issued a formal decree. In light of the irrefutable proof of your crime, you're to be executed before tomorrow's sunrise. If you want to escape, it has to be now.
Executed?
Monsters appearing at the same location as the treasure. Could this entire thing have been a trap?
There will be time for speculation once we're out of here. As infiltrating the capital was difficult, and finding a chance to speak with you has taken a lot out of me. I could go on, but I think we can all agree that now is not the time for details.
Have you seen our weapons anywhere, sir?
Don't worry, I brought them with me. They're just behind the door. Still, these weapons alone won't be enough to defeat the true enemy behind the scenes. His faction is too powerful. The guards are all under his control, and he's even stationed a number of golems in various rooms throughout the palace. To defeat him, you must find a secret vault. It is said that within that vault, The Marashose hunters of the past left behind a treasure with the power to defeat the sorcerer.
You're not coming with us?
No, I'll remain in the dungeons to deal with the guards. I'll try my best to distract them so they don't go after you. As long as my identity is not revealed, I'll be able to aid you when the final battle comes.
In that case, please stay safe.
Thank you for your concern. As for the location of the vault, here, this map should lead you there.
Oh, that is... I think I know where that is.
Got it.
All right, once I open the door, remember to stick close and refrain from making any noise. I'll lead you out of here as quickly as possible. You now have the chance to restore the honor and legacy of the Marashose hunters. So please, get out there and reclaim what's ours. And be sure to exercise caution.
With the help of the guard, you successfully escape the dungeons. Your sense of despair and anxiety both seem to fade as you continue your quest.
Yippee.
Wait, we didn't get to use our skills at all while we were in prison. Who knows when we're gonna get the chance to use that cool summon spell?
That is a pity, but we can only continue to move forward.
It's good that they just actually bring us out here. I was actually wrong. My brain was telling me it was on this side. I was probably thinking of this spot then.
This should be the place marked on the map.
This bit of rock certainly looks suspicious.
Well, I'd say an investigation's in order then.
Kaboom.
Wow, you really meant that.
Before you lies a serene stretch of open water, its surface shimmering a brilliant shade of sapphire blue.
Well, guess this means...
Time to swim. Swim time. I missed it. Oh, I see. Unfortunately, I'm not playing a Fontaine character. Then we're gonna do the dolphin jump.
What's the matter?
It's not. As you step into the cave, you find yourself in an eerily quiet space.
She recognizes
Before
this place.
you lies a narrow passageway that appears to trail off endlessly into the distance.
Her master is definitely gonna end up here.
Wow, this must be where the treasure is hidden.
But this door is blocking our way in. Huh. It almost looks like it's been here for quite some time. I've got to hand it to the tabletop troupe. They really went all out with the prop.
Huh. What have we got down here? A kind of mechanism connected to the door?
A pattern on a stone door.
Is something wrong, Clorinde?
After a long, difficult journey, you finally arrive at the location indicated by your map. It appears to be an ancient site of some sort, where treasure likely awaits. Your surroundings are exceedingly quiet and serene, as if the secret that slumbers here has never once been disturbed. If you listen closely, you can almost convince yourself you can hear the sound of its calm, gentle breathing.
That description makes Paimon feel kinda bad for disturbing this place.
We're doing this for the sake of the people, to free them from the evil sorcerer. I say it's time for this treasure to once again see the light of day.
Linny's right. We need to keep going. The next part of the story requires us to solve the puzzle, right?
Yes, that should be fine. Something feels off about all this.
Yep, something definitely is happening. But I mean, how to finish this is actually pretty easy. I put this, I install the hydro core. Need a hydrocore condensed from hydrograna. Okay, so I need to actually grab all 3. Luckily, there's 3 of them. Boop.
I found something.
Found something here, too.
Same here.
Cool. Cool. Puzzle.
It worked.
Something just appeared. Some kind of new mechanism, maybe?
By solving the puzzles, you prove yourselves worthy of inheriting the secrets of the past. At the end of each puzzle, you're rewarded with
With?
a key.
Oh, isn't this the key? Her key?
Must be the key to the big door.
Huh? This is one of the Marechaussee Hunter keys that are passed down from generation to generation. It is said that 4 keys in total are required to form the final, complete key. And it seems like we just collected 3 of them. Huh? You hear a few strange noises. Suddenly, all the torches in the ruin go out at once.
Huh? What's going on? Did we fall into another trap?
For the sake of immersion, please close your eyes, everyone. Without the torches, the space is now completely dark.
She's about to pull out her own key.
But
So she's
Paimon can still see a little bit over here. Oh, right. Sorry.
Suddenly, you hear the sound of footsteps pierce through the darkness.
There's someone else here?
I've been discovered then.
Wait, that voice.
You recognize the voice as belonging to the guard who led you to this place. It appears he now covets the treasure for himself and has come to stake his claim.
Oh, so this is just part of the script. Well, if we can't see anything, that...
Judging by the way he's holding his sword, he must be a
I
real
knew
Marechaussee
it.
Hunter.
I knew he was gonna be sus.
Retreat! That's not the Hunter way.
Your choice is noted. Please keep your eyes closed until I tell you the torches have been relit.
You got it.
Well then,
A roll of disadvantage. Oh, I get to use her now. Cool.
I'd like to try to hit him with my sword.
your strike is successful.
You're facing a veteran Marechaussee Hunter. You don't stand a chance. Is he still standing? Goodness, he sure has a lot of HP.
I really wish I had Clorinde now.
Is it over? Can we open our eyes now?
The enemy is strong and relentless.
What about now?
Final strike.
Bang.
Well...
Warm fire flickers across the walls once more. Your vision is now clear. In an impressive display of courage, the 4 of you successfully defeat the uninvited guest.
Great ad-libbing into the situation. That's awesome.
Look in his eyes. It's like he became an entirely different person.
Huh? Mr. Florian? Oh, wait. Speak your name, guard. Why did you lead us here just to betray us? Is this treasure really more important to you than bringing peace to the kingdom?
What kingdom? I, Florian, am a true Marechaussee hunter, descended from hunters of ages past.
So he's also using his real name.
Then I'm even more confused. If you truly are a Marechaussee hunter, shouldn't you want to help us just like you said before? Shouldn't we fight together for the sake of the people?
What do you know? In this day and age, there's no glory to be had as a Marechaussee hunter.
What's that supposed to mean?
My skills were passed down to me by my father. We lived a life of obscurity in the remote wilderness. Still, he devoted everything he had to being a Marechaussee hunter. And what did he get in return? A life of poverty and pain. In a world that forgot all about him. When he died, not a single person came to mourn his passing. The Marechaussee hunters were the ones who saved this city. We're heroes. We deserved more recognition and respect than this.
Is he talking about how no one in the capital seems to remember the hunters and their legacy?
So that's why you want to take the treasure for yourself?
If you already knew where the treasure was located, why didn't you just come down here and take it?
Because I still needed the final key.
Only a true Marechaussee hunter is capable of passing through this final door. As someone who sought to hurt others for his own gain, Florian lost that right long ago.
Okay, but what is this treasure anyway?
You're sure you want to go in?
We've been talking about it for so long. Of course we want to see what's inside.
And we've already defeated Florian, right?
Watch yourself.
Then let's open the door together.
All right.
And so the keys from earlier and walks up to the heavy door. Then as soon as she takes out her own key and joins it with the others to form the final required shape.
Before
Cool.
you, the door to the treasure, sealed and undisturbed for more than 100 years, finally swings open. You hear the shrill wail of the door hinge as it rotates for the first time after years of disuse, almost like a sleeping giant letting out an extended yawn. You get the impression that the secrets buried behind this door might be just as heavy as the sound you just heard.
It's open! Come on, let's go in! Paimon wants to see what's inside!
Jesus Christ, Paimon.
Me too!
Oh my god.
Ugh, uncovering hidden treasure is the most exciting part of adventure.
A stone tablet? And some shabby weapons?
You call this a treasure vault?
Maybe the troop ran out of budget at the end?
They provided a super immersive experience at the beginning only to drop the ball at the most important part? They could have at least filled this place with cardboard mora or something.
Wait, I get it now.
Huh?
This is it? The Marechaussee hunter treasure is just a stone slab and some broken swords?
Whoa, are you...
The Marechaussee hunter before you appears to suffer a serious mental breakdown. He needs to leave the room for a moment to collect himself. One of you seems to understand the significance of the treasure already. If the rest of you wish to follow suit, you may remain here in the meantime and explore your surroundings.
Bruh. Cool. Giant stone thing. It's not even interactable. But hey, gimme. Cool. So he was just trying to get there
The old
to begin
and
with.
broken weapon.
The names on the tablet.
What is the treasure supposed to be?
Can't talk to the traveler.
Walter.
Walter.
Ready. So, how are you doing?
What just happened?
Do you remember how you got here?
I remember now. I brought you here because I wanted to...
You mean these?
Huh?
I could tell something was off the moment I stepped into this cave, so I kept an eye out. I've already dismantled the whole thing.
So the strongest champion duelist in all of Fontaine saved the day once again. Guess I shouldn't be surprised. It would seem your skills as a Marechaussee hunter are as sharp as ever.
I deserve some answers, don't you think? Everything you said earlier sounded like the truth.
Luckily, your monologue was dramatic enough to convince my friends you were just role-playing.
I don't know. I just always felt like there was something in my heart that didn't belong to me. Something agitated and angry. Who knows? Maybe it was my own anger all along. The feelings about my father and the other Marshose hunters are real. It just wasn't fair. I was angry, bitter that no one remembered them. I don't know when it started, but at some point, my anger came to completely consume me. At that point, I remembered the legend my father used to tell me. The one about the treasure.
But if the treasure was all you cared about, why plant all those explosives? Wouldn't they just destroy the treasure and bury you along with it?
I can't remember. My head is a mess. It felt like there was this voice telling me to eliminate the hunters, but now it's gone.
We're getting to the interesting parts of the story.
From your description, I suspect you were dealing with a Devorator.
Devorator?
Oh, your master, your father, I mean, never talked about it? It was a kind of monster that was active several centuries ago.
No, I've heard of it. I'm just not sure why you suddenly... Wait, it can't be.
The seal?
My family has served as Marashose hunters for many generations. But the title and swordsmanship weren't the only things passed down over our line. There was a seal as well. My father instructed me to always watch over that seal and maintain it regularly. He said it had been passed down over a truly ancient age, and protecting it was our clan's most important duty. But I neglected that duty after he died. I finally decided to come down and check on it one day, and that's where my memories become fuzzy.
The Devorator would be a formidable adversary for any mortal being, even ones as capable as the Hunters. If you lacked the power to completely destroy it, you could easily fall prey to its influence and corruption. In light of this, some Marashose hunters chose to seal the Devorator away, in the hopes that a permanent solution would come with the passage of time.
I heard it has the power to amplify the obsessions and desires in people's hearts, to the point where they overtake you entirely. It would seem I'm not just lacking in skill with a blade, but in mental fortitude as well.
And yet, you were able to retrieve 3 of the 4 keys. If I remember correctly, each was entrusted to a respected and capable hunter.
One of them belonged to my father. The second I stole from a different hunter. And the third... was one that I snatched while the person was on the way home from the tavern. I know just how strong you are. It's as clear as day to everyone in Fontaine. I observed you from dusk to dawn, but could never find any opportunity to sneak up on you. I never even saw you drink a single glass of liquor. The only way I could think to obtain that last key was to lure you here using your hobby, and then... Oh, I get it now.
I won't comment on anything else, but the script was good.
Well, I did pour my heart and soul into it. The stories my father used to tell me about the glory of the heroic Marashose hunters and how they came to be forgotten.
It's more than just a story.
Huh?
You're proud to be a hunter. You're still holding onto that part of yourself, no matter how small.
I have done so many despicable things.
Then explain the purpose of the evil sorcerer in your story. Isn't he the true antagonist? The one who sought nothing but his own gain, and used the people as pawns to attain it? In your heart of hearts, he was the one you truly wanted to defeat.
But I've already tainted my sword.
Wake up, Florian. Remember how you introduced yourself early. Do you really think the hunters acted out of a desire for honor and glory? Or to be loved and acknowledged by the people? What did your father teach you about our order? You do not wield your sword for yourself, but to protect those you serve. There's nothing special about a blade. It's the intentions of the wielder that matter above all else. Do you still not understand? Even after seeing the treasure for yourself? The contents of that room, they represent the true legacy the hunters left behind.
You're right. I am a Marashose hunter. It's time for me to redeem. No, To finally serve the people I vowed to protect all along.
I wouldn't be so quick to push aside the need for redemption.
I know. That's a charge I won't bother to defend myself against.
Good. Then, come with me. And help me see the script through to the end.
Huh? See the script?
Never finished it, huh?
No, I mean, I wrote the script with the sole purpose of luring you all here. There was no reason to write beyond this point.
Then we'll just have to keep writing it. The evil sorcerer still needs to be defeated.
You mean the Devorator?
Is that really so hard? You've already written most of it. Surely you can write an ending where the hunters win and justice prevails.
You aren't afraid your party will fall into danger?
I know what my friends are capable of, and they're all quite skilled. Besides, I need their help.
Then, are you going to tell them the truth about all this?
I don't intend to spoil the fun. Sometimes, protecting dreams and fantasies is more important than exposing the truth. Don't you think?
Nice.